All right, you open Instagram, you open LinkedIn, and someone's posting about a promotion. You open WhatsApp, and that guy from school who never even crossed 50% is now settled in Dubai or Canada. And there you are. Same city, same struggle, same confusion. Everyone tells you, don't compare yourself. But man, how do you avoid it when comparison is everywhere? Look around your neighborhood, what your peers are achieving, what they're posting, how far they've reached. Relatives saying, at your age, I had already achieved this and that. And inside your own head, you're asking, why am I left behind? And you know the worst part? You know you're capable. You feel like you could achieve those exact same things, but something's holding you back. What is it exactly? There was a philosopher named Friedrich Nietzsche, and 125 years ago he said something that is the exact diagnosis of your problem. He said, most people don't lack talent, they lack a strong enough mind. Most people don't lack talent, they just lack a strong, powerful mind. And the price of building a strong mind is isolation. So why are you lagging behind? It's not a lack of talent. You are capable and you know it. The problem is something else. Nietzsche explained that you only start realizing this problem when you actually try to get serious in life. Because the moment you try to get serious, the moment you stop going to pointless parties, stop getting into useless arguments, and start focusing entirely on yourself, a strange silence falls among the people around you. You start thinking, are people jealous of me? No, the truth is much harsher than that. Actually, your hard work and your growth are a slap in the face to them. Your progress holds up a mirror to their own mediocrity, to their average lives. It reminds them of what they failed to achieve in their own lives. And here, an average person loves their mediocrity so much that if anyone tries to rise above it, they will put all their energy into pulling them back down by the ankles. This is called crab mentality. Your circumstances aren't the problem. The problem is that you've never pushed your mind to the level where it doesn't compete with the world. It competes with itself. Today I'm going to tell you the exact truths about Nietzsche that society will never tell you. Why it's necessary for you to become dangerous. Why it's necessary for you to be uncomfortable. And how to build a mind so strong that people actually start to be afraid of you. And later in this video, we're going to cover some specific concepts of Nietzsche's philosophy that you've probably never heard before. The dancing star, the God is dead philosophy, radical freedom, the Übermensch, will to power, amor fati, and self-ownership. These aren't just fancy words. These are the tools that will make your mind so strong that people will feel uncomfortable around you. So let's start with the very first concept. Friedrich Nietzsche wasn't just a philosopher, he was a surgeon of the human mind. He said, you need to have chaos inside you to give birth to a dancing star, meaning, to become a shining star, you need an inner earthquake. Now, what are we taught since childhood? Son, if you want to settle down in life, look for a safe corporate 9 to 5. Don't take risks. We all chase peace and stability, but honestly, nobody ever grows inside a comfort zone. Think back to the moment in your life when you became the strongest. Was it when you were sitting in an air-conditioned room watching Netflix? Or was it when your pockets were empty, your heart was broken, when facing major failure made you feel like the world was ending, and you had to fight just to rebuild your own identity? We are all terrified of pain. We look for quick fixes, praying for an easy life. Whereas Friedrich Nietzsche says, stop asking for an easy life, ask for stronger shoulders. That chaos in your life right now, this fear of career burnout, financial pressure, these sleepless nights, this isn't a problem. This is fuel. This is your engine. Nietzsche believed that pain and hardship aren't mistakes in life. They are life's main engine. The day you start treating your pain like medicine and swallowing it, you become dangerous. Because a man who has nothing left to lose and isn't afraid of pain can never be defeated by any force in this world. Think about it. Why does society fear you when you change? Because while everyone else is running away from difficulties, you are walking straight through the middle of them with your chest held high. When they are begging to be normal, you are obsessed with becoming great. But just enduring pain isn't enough. Walk into a crowded subway in New York or sit in traffic during rush hour. Look at the faces around you. Exhaustion and misery are everywhere. So why aren't they superhumans? Because they lack one single thing: responsibility. Now don't get confused. What kind of responsibility are we talking about? Listen to this. This is where Friedrich Nietzsche's most controversial and most powerful concept comes in. He said, God is dead. Now, people freak out when they hear this line, but hold on, understand what it means. He wasn't speaking against any religion. He was speaking against our mental weakness, our psychological fragility. He was saying that we have created an illusion that someone up there will fix everything, an illusion that if it's written in my destiny, I'll get it, an illusion that someone will come, a miracle will happen, and our life will be sorted. Friedrich Nietzsche slit the throat of that illusion. He looks you straight in the eye and says, no one is coming. You hear that? No one is coming. No politician, no boss, no rich distant relative, and no miraculous twist of fate. You are on your own, and 100% of the responsibility for your life belongs strictly to you. Terrifying, right? Since childhood, we've been taught to rely on things, not to take responsibility. We've been taught that if something goes wrong, just blame bad luck. How easy is it to make excuses, right? But the moment you accept that you are solely responsible for your circumstances, that very second, you transform from a boy into a man. God is dead means the death of your excuses. You can no longer play the blame game. Either you build yourself or you ruin yourself. The choice is yours. But there's a secret here. This is precisely the moment where true power is born. It's called radical freedom. When you realize there is no manual, no set path, you start building your own roads. You stop doing the right thing just because society or your elders said so, or because what will people think. You do the right thing because you believe it's right. From here is born a human being who isn't part of the herd, a human being who doesn't need anyone's validation, a human being who creates his own values. Friedrich Nietzsche gave such a man a name, the Übermensch, the man who has crushed his weaknesses and risen above them. In the next part, we'll talk about how you, sitting right there on the other side of the screen, can become that Übermensch. So far, what have we covered? Nietzsche's dancing star concept. The chaos inside you is the fuel for your transformation. God is dead. It doesn't mean God doesn't exist. It means no one is coming to save you, and 100% of the responsibility is yours. Radical freedom. When there's no manual, you carve your own path. And the introduction to the Übermensch, the man who lives these concepts. Now let's explore how you can reach that level where loneliness no longer scares you but becomes your ultimate strength. There is a very common disease that no doctor can cure. The name of that disease is, what will people say? We spend our entire lives trapped in this fear. We study what's considered safe. We do jobs society finds respectable, and we live life trying to please everyone. We are all part of a herd where the moment you step even slightly out of line, 100 people come running to pull you back down. But Friedrich Nietzsche believed that the purpose of humanity isn't to get lost in a crowd. He believed that man is a rope tied between an animal and an Übermensch, a rope strung across an abyss. Most people die acting like animals, eat, drink, produce, and die. But a very few people cross that rope and become the Übermensch. Now, what is this Übermensch? Is it some superhero who flies in the air, a gym bro building a body, or some rich businessman? No. It's the man who has shattered the chains of his own slavery. It's the man who cannot be controlled by society's rules, peer comparisons, or family taunts. He listens to everyone, but he does what he wants. And the Übermensch Friedrich Nietzsche was talking about isn't some external thing. It's an internal state, a psychological condition. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and needing zero approval from anyone. How would it feel if you genuinely didn't care whether the world calls you crazy or a genius? That is the true power of an Übermensch. Nietzsche's motto was, do not follow commandments, create your own values. Meaning, don't live by someone else's rules. Create your own principles. Look, there's a flaw in our standard education system. What are we taught since childhood? We are taught to be obedient. Sit quietly. Don't argue. Then when we grow up a bit, we're told, just adjust, compromise, it's fine. Our entire society runs on adjustments. Adjusting in marriage, adjusting at jobs, adjusting in the family. As a result, even when we are 25 or 30 years old, we are terrified of making our own decisions. But a strong-minded person doesn't just flow with the crowd. He asks questions. He asks, why am I doing this career? Do I actually want to do this from my heart, or just because everyone else is doing it? Friedrich Nietzsche says that a true creator is the one who shatters the old stone tablets. You have to write the rules of your own life. For you, success might not mean a safe 9 to 5. It might mean building your own business. For you, happiness might not mean a suburban house, but charting your own path. But when you write your own rules, be prepared. You will be made the villain. Society hates independent thinkers. When you don't blindly follow society's rules, people will judge you. Someone will call you arrogant. Someone will say you've changed, that you've got an attitude. But according to Nietzsche's philosophy, this is a compliment. This is high praise. Because if sheep aren't afraid of the lion, how can the lion be called a lion? Their anger is proof that you're on the right path, that you're doing what they never had the guts to do. Now, let's move on to another crucial concept, the will to power. Since childhood, we are fed, contentment is supreme happiness. We are taught to be unambitious. Wanting more is treated as greed. Friedrich Nietzsche was fiercely against this mindset. He said, life is will to power. Living doesn't just mean breathing. Living means growing, expanding, conquering, and dominating your environment. But nobody ever taught you how to bend situations to your advantage. Nietzsche says, stop adapting to the world, make the world adapt to you. Now, hearing this sounds huge. How on earth am I supposed to change the world? I can't even afford my own bills. So listen carefully. Will to power doesn't mean you'll become a billionaire overnight. It means bringing power into your small, everyday decisions. To understand will to power, take a simple example. You're at the office, and your boss is unnecessarily making you work over the weekend when there's no need. Now, what does an average guy do? Quietly do it because he's the boss. What can you do? But an Ubermensch will first increase his own value. He will work so hard that he becomes indispensable, someone whose position cannot be replaced. And once he has that leverage, he sets boundaries, respectfully, smartly, without being arrogant, with dignity, intelligence, and zero ego. The difference is, weak people complain. Strong people first make themselves so valuable that they don't even need to complain. And now, ambition. Stop apologizing for your ambition. If you want to make money, go make it. If you want power, go seize it. Weak people hide behind a mask of fake simplicity to mask their failures. But an Ubermensch knows what he wants, and he is ready to go to any length to get it. This will to power isn't meant to crush others. It's meant to build your own ultimate version. Every single day, ask yourself, am I better today than I was yesterday? If not, you're wasting your life. But friend, here is a bitter truth you have to accept. The path to becoming an Ubermensch is lonely. As your mind gets stronger, your circle of friends will shrink. You won't be able to connect with people whose conversations are shallow and limited. You'll find those weekend parties boring where people fake laugh. You'll feel like you're from a different planet. Suppose you decide to stay home, read books, or learn a new skill on a weekend instead of partying. What will your friends say? Bro, you've changed. You've got an attitude now. Guess you don't have time for us anymore. And slowly, they'll remove you from the group chats, stop inviting you to plans, and you'll start wondering, am I wrong? Should I go back? Stop right there. 99% of people give up right here. They run back to the crowd out of fear of loneliness. They dumb down their intelligence just to fit in, intentionally making themselves weaker so they can blend in with the herd. But you have to stop. You have to endure that loneliness, because in that exact silence, you will hear your own true voice. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "The higher you rise, the smaller you appear to those who cannot fly." So when people make you feel small or judge you, understand that you are soaring high while they are standing on the ground. Nietzsche goes on to say, loneliness is not a punishment, it's a privilege. Why? Because when you're alone, no one is poisoning your mind, no one is pulling you down, no one is draining your energy. You meet your true self. Every single person who walked an unconventional path had to face this loneliness, but this is precisely the phase where your true strength is built. Another famous quote by Friedrich Nietzsche, "You must always fight your tribe. You'll end up alone, you'll feel scared, but the price of possessing yourself, of becoming the master of your own soul, is worth any cost." Now the question is, when the entire world, the whole society stands against you, when mediocrity surrounds you from all sides and tries to make you average, how do you win that war? What weapons do you need for this mental warfare? In the next part, we'll talk about that ultimate battle where you won't just survive, you will win on your own terms. Who do you think your biggest enemy is? Some government, some system, or your luck? No. Friedrich Nietzsche clearly stated, your biggest enemy is collective mediocrity. This is that invisible force that wants you to become just like everyone else. This is the pressure that wants you to keep your voice low, your dreams small, and spend your whole life just scraping by. This mediocrity doesn't attack us with a stick, it kills us with kindness. It comes disguised as advice. Son, don't fly too high, you'll fall. It comes disguised as jokes or emotional blackmail. You've changed now. You don't care about us anymore. These are all traps. Society doesn't want exceptional people. It only wants obedient workers who quietly pay taxes and die. When you push your limits, you make them uncomfortable. Your victory looks like their defeat. That's why they will try everything to drag you back down into the ditch where they are rotting away. So how do you win this war? You don't need physical weapons, you need mental weapons. And Friedrich Nietzsche hands you the most dangerous weapon of all, amor fati. It means love your fate. Love your destiny, no matter how harsh it is. When something bad happens, weak people cry, "Why did this happen to me?" Friedrich Nietzsche says this is the mark of the weak. A strong-minded person doesn't just endure hardships, he welcomes them. Think about it. You went through a breakup? Good. Now you have the time to build yourself. You suffered a business loss? Good. You just got an expensive life lesson that no textbook can teach. People walked out of your life? Good. The crowd thinned out. Now you can finally focus. Amor fati means telling life, bring it on. I won't break. I'll get stronger. When you embrace your biggest hardships, the world cannot scare you anymore. You reach a level where pain doesn't weaken you, it fuels you. The price of walking this path is heavy, I won't lie to you. You will cry alone many times. You will doubt yourself repeatedly. But the reward is something no money can buy. Self-ownership, being the master of your own self. When you break away from the crowd, you taste true freedom. That freedom where you wake up knowing today is your day. That confidence when you look in the mirror and don't hunger for anyone else's approval. You'll notice people starting to feel your presence. You won't need to shout. Your silence will carry weight. People will respect you not because you have money, but because you have character. You will become a man who cannot be broken, a man who cannot be bent down. Friend, this video is ending here, but your real battle is about to begin. The moment you put your phone down, that mediocrity will attack again. Your laziness, your friends, your environment, they will all try to pull you back. But now you have a choice. Either you go back and live that 99% life, complaining, bitter, and dying in regret, or you make a decision today. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "Become who you are." The comment section is open. I want you to make a promise today, not to me, but to yourself. Write down one truth you've been hiding from the world, or write down one goal you will achieve no matter what. Write, I will not bend, I will not break. This won't just be a comment, this will be your declaration of war. Establish your presence. Show that you are alive. If this video has sparked even a little bit of fire inside you, smash that subscribe button like you're choking out your own weakness. We aren't doing time pass here, we're building an army of thinking minds. In the next video, we'll go even deeper. Until then, don't stop, don't bend, and remember, you're not alone. You're just ahead of everyone else.